Don't fuck up. Don't fuck yourself. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Rude Cooking School podcast. I'm your host, John Hauser III. And with me, graciously rocking the Rude Cooking School logo behind him is a friend, a performer. He's a guitarist sometimes. He is a magician. He is a magic man. He is a mystic. And he is a scholar. He is also the owner and salesman and I guess head of business development at Caruso Produce. It's Kevin Canty-Jones. Hey, dude, what's going on?
Hey, John, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
The guy to my Fieri, John Hauser III. Incredible. Thanks for having me on, man. Coast to coast.
Yeah.
Portland, Oregon to Baltimore, Maryland. Thank you for having me on. This is great.
We're going cross country on this one.
Absolutely. We rocked the podcast out here in Oregon, so it's an honor to be on.
Yeah, I'm glad you had the time to do it. I know it's a little early over on your side.
Oh, it's okay. I'm getting along in years, John. So 4 p.m. comes fast, you know what I mean, these days.
Yeah, it's like, well, time for my mushing, time for bed.
Oh my goodness. We booked a first Sunday of every month at the Starday Tavern to play music at. We told the kids we wanted 5 to 7 on Sundays. And they're like, "You want 5 to 7?" We're like, "Yep, we want 5 to 7." They're like, "Is anybody going to come?" Yes, people will show up. Trust us. You can have a late show for the hard rockers, you know.
People want to be in their cozy socks by 8 o'clock. So
that's right.
Go 5 to 7, go home. Get under the covers. It's done.
That's right, my man. You know it. You know the deal.
Is that the place that you took me to?
Yes, that's right.
I saw you perform last time. Yeah, that's a good place.
Good classic Portland dive bar that hasn't been steamrolled and condos haven't been put up. And
it made me long for my youth of dive bars because there's not that many in Baltimore anymore either.
Unbelievable.
Right. It's
what
crazy.
Is happening?
There used to be live music all the time, every weekend, multiple places. Now there are the big places and then, the cover bands, which, cover bands are fine.
Sure.
But I can't imagine what it's like being in a original band trying to get places to play these days. And I'm sure there's tons of them. I'm just old and don't know where they're at, but the old places aren't there anymore to where you can get on, as an opener for a relatively big local band or whatever. So
yeah, you're right. It's tougher than ever. Just gotta dig deep and create new ways to do the craft.
Yeah. Speaking of digging deep, vegetables.
That's right, baby.
Is that
vegetables?
That's your life, dude, right?
It is. It's not the Senate seat I left high school thinking I would once occupy. But
did you really think you'd be a senator?
I don't know. I figured I'd be great on the take somewhere.
Oh, yeah. You'd be perfect for fucking taking bribes and shit.
Only for the good.
Of course.
The Robin Hood type of take. Yeah. No, but it's been a great career.
Well, you know how it is. So. They're like, "Hey, here's $1 million if you help the homeless." That happens all the time, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no kidding. No complaints. Great job being a middleman in the food chain. We're kind of a holding ground between farms all over the globe and your local grocery store. So
give me an overview of generally what your job is. Not specific, like myopic.
Sure. But what we do as middlemen in the industry.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, like I said, we are a holding ground, a holding facility for these products, these dying products. All this produce is dying products. We've cut it from the vine. It has limited shelf life. We have ginger from China, honey tangerines from Peru, pears and apples from all over the Northwest, right up the street. And we are the holding place until we put it on a pallet. We take a produce order from the local Safeway or the local, independent market and put a produce order together, pick it, put it together, put it on a truck and deliver it down there. And, a lot of folks don't really know where their produce comes from. They just think it comes from, the Kroger's at the end of the street.
Yeah.
There's nothing past that a lot. So it's kind of fascinating to see it all come in, see it all go out. It is quite the hustle. You're hustling against other wholesale produce vendors, all trying to do the same thing. And
time, like you said, that stuff is got a shelf life. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You got to get it in and out pretty quick.
It is fascinating. The old days, and you remember being young, you'd wait for asparagus to come into season. It'd come into the spring, Easter time, there was asparagus. And then they figured out how to get it here from Mexico. Okay, we've extended the asparagus season. And boy, with air travel, now, when that started happening, we can put asparagus on a plane. All right, then it's coming in from Peru and Chile and Argentina in the middle of the winter. And before you know it, no one has to wait for asparagus all year round,
Right.
It might go from $2.99 a pound when it's local to $8.99 a pound when it's from far away.
Yeah.
But folks don't realize that's the price you pay for having everything on demand all the time.
Putting asparagus on a plane like it's a VIP and getting it up. Yeah, of course.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Do we need this? Is it something that we need as humans? Probably not.
No.
But that philosophical thing is out the window. It's gone.
I wish more people would. I mean, there's a point where cooking seasonally is just not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to cook as seasonally as possible, but there's only so many fucking potatoes or rutabagas, and in the middle of winter, it's just like, fuck this, I'll just get the asparagus.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. We still have some. This is the People's Republic of Portland. We still have some beautiful hippie idealists out here.
Oh, sure. You're one of them.
I know this guy who doesn't even eat bananas because they're just not meant to be here.
Yeah.
And they're,
that's wild.
Yeah, it is wild. Like, hey man, I like a good banana. I like a good banana.
That's the line in the sand to fucking cross that one.
Like, I love that there's people out there that do that. That would be the extreme.
We've covered bananas in the past, and they've got their own episode. And when they first came to America, they were like gold. Like, of course, only rich people had them. Each banana. Back in, I think it was either the 20s or the 10s, in the 1910s, 1920s. I forget when it was.
Yeah.
But at the time, they were $30 a piece per banana.
Holy, that's like 300 back then.
That's like $8 zillion in today's.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean, seriously, it was like $5,000 or something. It was something fucking crazy.
Holy
for
smokes.
a banana, because you couldn't get them, right? And then refrigerator trucks, and then it got a little bit better, and then totally. Now they know how to do that shit. Like, bananas are not, like, nobody even thinks twice about bananas. We let them rot.
Right.
We let them rot. As soon as somebody's like, oh God, it's got a spot on it, I can't eat it anymore. And then you just let it rot.
And it turns out that's when the nutritional value starts to actually get really good, is when they start to spot. That's when, like, they say they have, anti-cancer properties and, all the good stuff. Is
I just peel them and freeze them, and then just use them for smoothies or banana bread.
Very hip. That's a very hipster take and use on the banana, my man.
Yeah,
yes, very good.
I mean, when you make banana bread, I prefer to like freeze them in the, let them get as black as they can, and then freeze them, and then you let them thaw again. And when you go to use them, you just kind of let them thaw. And the ice just destroys the flesh, so you can just kind of, and it just goos out, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly, but that's when they taste the best. They taste like fucking bananas.
John, is that what God had in mind when he first invented the banana?
Probably.
Frozen pop out,
I'm sure there are peckish monkeys in the forests or in the jungles that like their bananas gooey. They just wait.
You're right.
Stick a straw in that thing, and
you're right.
Like it's like a Boda bag or something.
Now, to talk about the banana for a minute, the traditional variety that we use, the Cavendish banana. It's the
Okay.
one that years ago, United Fruit and the other people that have. May I cuss on this podcast?
Yeah, of course. Go for it.
Okay. It's the variety that United Fruit and Dole and Del Monte and everyone that they decided to fuck up Central and South America with when they came in and destroyed everything and put those things up. The Cavendish variety is dying out. It's becoming pest. It's not pest resistant anymore, and all the characteristics which they loved about it, it's just not holding up. And they're trying to decide on a new variety that will be the new worldwide mass-produced banana.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. So who knows what it will look like? It will be similar to it, but you can only.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild when they decide like, okay, this is the banana, because
right.
Every fruit and vegetable has varietals. Like it's not just
Exactly.
the one thing, or
Exactly.
it's the one thing because over hundreds of years now, or the last 100 years of supermarket buying, they've been grown to look like that and hold up that,
yes,
on the plane, on the train.
Right.
In the store for as long as they possibly can. Like, that's why tomatoes and strawberries have no real flavor when you get them at the store a lot of times, because they're built for shipping. They're not built for flavor.
Built to last. To last. You're right.
Yeah.
There's some Islander brothers and sisters in my neighborhood, and they love the small baby bananas, and they love
little
the
guys.
Little guys, and the little red bananas. I don't know if you've seen these red ones.
They have them at my Safeway.
Oh, do they? Cool.
Yeah,
that's great.
And the little ones. Yeah,
I've been in that Safeway. That's a good Safeway.
It's a very good Safeway.
Do they sell beer there now?
No, we still got to go to beer stores and liquor stores.
Right.
Which is why I couldn't find any liquor in Portland. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And they're like, have you, or when we were in Seattle, same thing. We asked somebody, we were like, where are the liquor stores? They're like, liquor stores? You can just go to Safeway. And we were like, oh, right.
Far out. Can't do that in Oregon yet.
Meanwhile, I bought a 6-pack of fucking White Claws for $25 or something.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
At a corner store because I didn't know any better.
The security watched me lap the Safeway 3 times in Baltimore. They were finally like, "Hey, man, what's your deal?
Yeah,
like you gonna steal something or buy something or what?" I thought,
it's so big.
I'm getting the feeling there's no beer in this store.
Oh,
they're like, yeah, you should be getting that feeling real good because there is none. That's
we
funny.
still got weird blue laws, and like, luckily you can get stuff on Sundays now, but there's like a whole rigmarole with that. Like, only liquor stores that sell food are allowed to be open, I think is what it is on Sundays.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Please.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
I'm sure places like Safeway are really pushing to try to get beer into the store because it's
right.
Because once that happens, so many liquor stores are just going to tank, right?
Yeah.
And that's not a terrible thing. I mean, it's local businesses, so I don't know how I feel about that. But the really good specific ones will stick around while the kind of garbage ones go away. But that might be wishful thinking. And also, again, that's somebody's fucking business.
Right.
So
we've done it to ourselves with weird liquor laws.
Yeah.
But to circle back around to this banana thing, I got us off topic there. I'm sorry, talking about the Safeway. Right. These Islander brothers and sisters, they can't stand the American, the Cavendish banana that we have. They just think it's so starchy. And
I was going to say because it's so starchy. Yeah.
It's an awful piece of fruit. And it's actually them who got me going on the different varietals of bananas. So
yeah, and they're really good too. Like
totally.
The smaller ones are a little firmer. They hold up better for cooking. Like if you're actually going to use it in a dish.
Yeah.
Like the one famous one that we joked about when we covered bananas is the old school banana wrapped in ham, coated in cheese sauce and baked.
What?
Yeah.
What?
You've never seen that before?
No.
Yeah.
But
hold on.
Sadly, I think I would have to try that.
Well, it's one of those things that like nobody knew what to do with these things back in the
Yeah.
like 30s and 40s when they
Yeah.
really started to become like a thing. So, people were just trying to figure out recipes for them.
Yeah, right.
And one of the first really big ones is this one. Let me find it. So it's a Chiquita banana recipe. So I'm going to share my screen with you real quick. So
Yeah,
you can see
thank
this
you.
thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
So here's the recipe there. Ham banana rolls.
Oh my God.
I mean, and you can see, yeah, you can
That
see it's
is
straight out of the
something else.
40s or 50s with that
Yep, it
1947
sure is.
issue of Women's Day.
Easy
So,
to digest. I
yeah.
doubt that. That's
Yeah,
fine.
well, clears
Like
you right out.
The banana actually might even it out a little bit. The cheese sauce is what's going to hurt you up there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, pretty
That's
great, right?
amazing.
So,
That is great.
like,
Ham banana rolls.
yeah.
Note to self: write the song "Ham Banana Rolls."
Yeah, of course. You have to. Yeah,
That's great.
But adjusting to bananas, like it's so funny to think like, okay, in 1947, which is what's that, about 80 some years ago, right, or whatever it was,
Right,
close
sure.
to 80 years ago.
Yeah.
They just didn't know what to do with them. Because they were just like, oh, this is a new thing from another world, basically.
Yeah,
like, we'll never have that anymore. Or if we do, it's very specific thing like, oh, I got a jar of Calabrian chili paste. You know what I mean? Like that's where that kind of specialty stuff is now. It's not like unless they're like discovering new fruits from Asia and shit. Like, most people haven't eaten a dragon fruit or a rambutan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
there you go. Oh yeah.
The most disappointing of fruits, the dragon fruit. Like,
I hear you. The traditional red flesh or red outside, white flesh can be a little bland. I would encourage someone to put a little salt on it, like our grand folks used to put salt on a watermelon, which I used to think was silly. That it does make it pop a little bit.
Sure.
But I don't know if you've ever seen the red flesh dragon fruit.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously spendy, but it holds more flavor. And then the yellow flesh dragon fruit.
Never seen those.
Totally different. It's totally different. So high in sugar. It's delicious. The flesh is sort of gray with the black seeds. But don't give up on dragon fruit yet. It's
how long have you worked at Caruso?
Well, I come from a time, it's a family business. It's my family. So I come from a time before things like child labor laws. So back in the 70s, early 70s, as soon as you were old enough to stand on a milk crate, you were at the repack table sorting tomatoes.
Okay.
And then when you were old enough to work a hand truck, you're out in the warehouse, pulling orders and loading trucks.
This has been a lifelong thing.
It has been. It has been. All the smart family members got out and did other things in their lives. But
became senators.
Became senators.
They're taking the bribes while you're the sucker with the tomatoes.
Oh, they're on the take somewhere, sending their kids to Harvard. Oh, we're so jealous of them. But it's all good. It's all good. I'm very honored to have this job to fall into after I partied my way out of the University of Oregon in the 80s.
It's a very noble job. Like,
sure,
it's food. Sure. It's a pretty, like, in terms of food jobs, it's a pretty clean job.
We are always going to be secure. People are always going to need food.
Right.
And the population is always going up, at least here in the Northwest.
So, all right, we're about to hit winter. Yeah. Does that do anything for like your food, like your supply chain, or is it just moved to a different place?
I'll tell you about right now, September. It's our slowest time of the year.
Okay.
Because everyone's garden is in. So everyone's eating out of their backyard. And we champion that. Absolutely. Grow your own stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, we'll be here after the first freeze.
Right.
So, the farmers markets are in, local stuff's happening. Even if you don't have a garden, your neighbor's handing tomatoes and state fair zucchini over the fence to you. So and we champion all that. So when we take vacations, it's usually like in September and October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of our slow time. And then after the first freeze, like it's back on.
Right.
I mean, we're still busy, but
And everybody's ramping up for Thanksgiving and the holidays too.
I mean, Thanksgiving probably the biggest produce week of the year.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, probably the biggest. And the day after Thanksgiving, the slowest day in produce of the year.
And probably the highest in delivery food.
What do you mean?
Or, people just like, look, I'm too lazy to even make my own fucking plate of leftovers. I'm just going to get some delivery.
Oh, yeah. Well, right. Yeah. Restaurant delivery.
Give me some fucking Chinese food, right?
No, everybody is eating leftovers throughout that, or eating it right that weekend after. Absolutely, it's a mad rush, and then it just falls off.
Are you a plate for your leftovers? Are you a plate guy or are you a sandwich guy? Do you make yourself a plate or do you make yourself a sandwich with just everything?
That's a great question. Definitely a plate guy. I'm a plate guy.
Okay, this is the boxers of briefs of the Rude Cooking School.
Oh yeah, no. I listen to you guys. I love these questions when they come up. Actually, absolutely. Avatar or Toy Story? What are we talking here? Exactly. So I got you. And we're Italian family, so we're bizarre anyway. There's going to be lots more pastas and zucchini dishes at Thanksgiving than you would normally see at a lot of other places.
Sure.
There'll be an obligatory turkey, but it's not our main thing. But what
is the main thing then? Is it a ham or is it a braciole or is it a fucking?
Yeah, it's like a braciole or something.
Or, yeah. Doing like a porchetta?
Yeah. Porchettas are big in our family. Exactly. Nice. And, but again, we got a lot of idealists out here, so we're never short of a bunch of vegetarians at the table or at the party. So we're just gonna make sure, they're taken care of.
And lately, it's kind of beautiful to see how if there is an excuse for vegetarianism, it's Thanksgiving dinner, right? Because there's so many sides and so many choices and so many uses for vegetables just for that.
Yams, sweet potatoes, green beans, like so many great Thanksgiving sides for the vegetarian.
You a yam and sweet potato guy?
Absolutely. Really? I love them.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Well, I'm a big fan for Thanksgiving. Yeah, I mean, most of the year I'm a potato guy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I gotta be honest there. But I do enjoy a candied up yam or sweet potato,
Yeah, Leanna loves sweet potatoes, and I'm just like, but
Eliza does too. You could tell that our wives are friends because she loves them too.
Leanna loves a sweet potato black bean taco, and I'm like, there's just not enough going on there. We need to zhuzh it up a little bit, add a little bit more cheese, add some onions. Like
that's such a big taco out here in Portland for the vegetarians. For sure.
Yeah.
And
and to be fair, Leanna makes them really well. It's just like, can I get something else besides just fucking roasted potato and beans? Like,
well, I was a strict vegetarian for 8 years, John, but I was only in it for the chicks.
Yeah.
The 90s were a wild time out here in Portland, babe.
Yeah, and fucking, hot vegetarian girls in Portland, I'm sure were a dime a dozen.
Oh, if you could roll that into like extra Grateful Dead tickets, you were the king. You were the king of the VW bus. Nothing can stop you.
That's great.
But luckily, I begged a great babe out of it, and I married her, and we were both able to wean ourselves off of the vegetarian. We would consider ourselves recovering vegetarians.
Do you guys sell meat at Caruso?
We don't.
Okay, although it's strictly produce.
Well, I shouldn't say that. As we transition, or not transition, but add on food service to our business, which is delivering to the restaurants, we find ourselves building a freezer on the side of the new warehouse here.
Gotcha.
And so we need to have the chicken breast, chicken thighs. We need to have.
You're going to start working with like local providers.
Yeah. Oh, all the time. Yeah.
So okay, you have farms from around the world when you need bananas, but you work with a lot of local guys.
I'm looking out the window right now at beautiful local tomatoes being grown by local Canby farmers. Like absolutely, like local first as much as we can. And again, when we were young, the local stuff used to be cheaper.
Right.
It's not like that anymore.
No, because everybody wants local.
everyone wants local plus, but the cost of doing business as a small farmer, it
Sure.
it's huge.
Yeah.
And you get these factory farms cranking out artichokes on 300 acres.
Hmm.
Local guy doing artichokes near you can't compete. You know,
Right.
he's so people need to realize that sometimes. Sometimes we're stuck on grandpa and grandma's. I remember 20 years of corn for $1.
Yeah.
Those days are gone. You
Yeah,
know.
and those farmers, most of them have lost their farms because
Yeah.
they couldn't
Right.
compete.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, people need to really consider local farms as artisanal producers and not
Yeah. Artisanal producers. I actually like that phrase
instead of
a
like
lot
some
more.
sort
I'm
of
gonna write that down.
yeah,
Artisanal producers.
instead of some sort of
Artisanal
like
producers.
fucking, like you said, we got 300 acres of just one thing that we just, rock all the time, and we can bury you in artichokes, as
Yep.
opposed to the guy up the street whose artichokes probably taste a million times better,
Yep.
but he doesn't have the size or the shape to fucking
Yeah.
or the hands to get all of it done.
Artisanal producers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of my next band, also, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the truth
It's
though.
true. I love that. Oh,
It's
it's
how they
true.
have to be
Exactly.
looked at.
Yeah,
you know.
it's exactly how they have to be looked at. Exactly. And we won't be happy until we pave over the last acre of farmland in this country, and we
Right.
won't realize what we've done until that happens.
Right.
So, and we're out. And that being said, our newest warehouse, we're out here in Canby, Oregon, south of Portland, farmland. And the irony is not lost on us that we built this massive produce holding facility out of concrete on top of this black gold soil farmland.
Mm.
I mean, it's great to have farmers around us, but we took up 10 acres here to do this. The irony is not lost on us. It's not great, but man, we love being in the middle of the farmland.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's cool. Like, do you get to like? I mean, I'm sure you get to taste fucking food all the time, but are the guys coming in like, dude, you got to taste this? It's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll go chase them down a little more. You know what I mean? Hey, how's it going?
Just rough estimate. How many local farmers are you working with?
Oh, well,
Rough
local,
estimate.
like within a 5-mile radius, probably 10 or 12.
Oh wow. Okay.
You want to go out 50 miles,
Yeah.
maybe 30
That's
or 40.
still local. Okay.
Yeah, I consider Oregon and Washington local.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
And over that, like over 100, 200,
Yeah.
Oregon and Washington.
That's cool.
Yeah, you bet. I saw a sticker on a back of a farmer's tractor the other day. It said, "If you think farmers are gouging you, try farming."
Yeah.
I had to think about that for a minute, but I was like, right, exactly. You'd have no idea what the costs are.
Fucking hard that job is.
Yeah.
Getting up
and
at the fucking butt crack at dawn, working your hands to the bone for fucking barely anything.
And we're fighting for minimum wages to go up, and I am all for it. But every time that minimum wage goes up, that comes out of the cost. That's someone working on the guy's farm.
That's how it works. Yeah.
Talked to a farmer in Eastern Washington. I was buying his organic onions this week, and he said, our minimum wage has gone up to $15.50 or something like that. I'm competing against Idaho right over the border, whose minimum wage is still $7.10.
Ugh.
Yeah. So, people are like, oh, the Idaho onions are cheaper. And we're like, yes, but at what cost?
Right.
You know what I mean? I want, we want everyone's
there should be, I mean, to not take this politically, but like there should be a national minimum wage.
Sure.
That way there's an equal playing field across the board, which by the way, the last time the national minimum wage went up was like 92, something like that. It's fucking unbelievable.
Do I hear a Senate run for you, John Hauser III?
I've done too many drugs.
Oh, after what we've seen the last couple of years, anything's on the table.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter anymore, right? Like, who gives a shit? I could go up there and be like, yeah, I'm on acid right now. Who cares? And
People
they'd be like,
respect
all right.
you more, my man.
Yeah.
People respect you more. That's hilarious.
I don't like people enough to fucking do that kind of thing.
That's cool. All right. Fair enough.
Some people, but not politicians, should I say? Like,
yeah, there you
regular people. Yeah, I dig regular people, but
sure,
just having to be around politicians. I don't like meetings. That's probably a
Yeah,
problem,
right.
you know. Okay, so you buy from
You had asked
farms. Oh, go
you
ahead.
asked me about winter. I think I got off track as
Sure.
going into winter. I mentioned fall time. Going into winter when all the local stuff dies out, California will get turned on to local what I call local, get turned on to navel oranges and
Mm-hmm.
citrus will start coming out of California. Satsumas around Christmas time. We know we like those. I love mandarin season. Satsumas are the first on the market. And then we got, the tangos, the Murcots, all these great stateside
Varietals, yeah.
mandarin. I love that kind of stuff. Um, but we will rely on South America, the Southern Hemisphere,
Sure.
more than ever for stuff. Just like Europe relies on Africa to send them stuff, we rely on South America.
Mm-hmm.
Asia probably relies on Australia and to
China.
send them stuff. There you go. Right.
China
Wow.
China makes basically most of the world's food now.
That's
California's
crazy.
kind of second, which is
Sure.
bananas. Just
Yeah.
California, not
Oh,
America, just California. Like,
right. California. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I hope California falls into the sea. You better be careful there if they fall into the
yeah,
sea.
you
It's
won't get
like,
a lot of your fucking food,
yeah,
dude. Like,
exactly. And
it's
they,
actually bananas. Well, it's bananas are the other place, but like it's bananas how much
yeah,
food they actually grow for
yeah,
America. Like
absolutely.
it's nuts.
They send so much, like, they send so much west. It goes straight on a plane and goes out over the
Oh, I'm
ocean.
sure. I'm
It's
sure.
crazy.
Yeah.
And it send a lot east. Like they feed us.
Yeah.
They feed us a lot. I'm thankful for them. They got their own problems. There's no water left down
Well,
there.
that's
No topsoil left down there.
that's the
You
problem
know,
is the water.
it sure is. It
It's all
sure
going
is.
to fucking Vegas. That's why.
I cracked into I think we talked about this over the summer when you were out. I recently cracked into the Alaskan market to sell produce up
Oh,
there,
right. Yeah. You were telling me
which
about that.
was fascinating in its own right. Just thinking about how those folks get food.
Yeah,
Um,
because they're just fucking. It might as well
they're
be the
up there.
moon. Yeah.
They're up there. Exactly. They are up there. And the cheapest way to get it there is put it on a boat out of Seattle. So I get it up there to the dock. It goes on a boat for 6 days up there where it's in God's hands. And I cross
Mhm.
my fingers. I hope this stuff shows up okay. But if I sell it right and I'm selling him stuff that hasn't even gotten to me yet, it's on its way to me. And when
Gotcha.
it gets to me, then it gets right up there to the dock. I got a chance. But I went up there a couple of weeks ago to see some customers and try to hustle some new ones. And I ran into this Palmer. What do they call this? The Palmer Valley, their agricultural valley, where when
Oh.
it's rocking light hours from 4 a.m. to 1 a.m.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So shit is you can sit and drink beer and watch things grow. Like it's just light hours. It's
Yeah.
constant light hours. You got to water it like 3 times a day.
We were in Scotland
Oh,
a
right.
year and a half ago,
Yeah.
and it was basically light from 4 a.m. until around 12 or 1, and
Isn't it amazing?
it was disturbing. It was,
Yeah.
well, you
Yeah.
go to the bar and you come out drunk and you're like, yeah, oh, wait a minute, what? You're like, that shouldn't be right. It should be nighttime.
It took us a while out of the bar to think about it shouldn't be right. We just kept going. We just
because you're like, wait a minute,
taken away by the wings of the light,
I'm too ugly for this. I'm too ugly for this light. I need some darkness to hide in. What are we doing here? But yeah, that shit's cool. It's interesting to think about Alaska. I mean, of course there are farms up there, right? Like, but they have to be. I mean, you talk about seasonal.
Short season.
Short season.
Exactly. But when it's on,
what are they growing up there?
Nothing like they can't get a tomato or a bell pepper going.
Yeah,
but they can do the harder, wetter stuff, the broccolis, the cauliflowers, the kales.
That makes sense.
Carrots crank up there, stuff like that. They can get going. Potatoes they can do. But like you said, it is a short season.
Yeah.
It's a short and vibrant season.
So
sure.
you sell to local markets, but
Local
also some of the
markets
big guys, right?
and some wholesalers.
Okay.
We punched up a weight division to Costco while we are up there,
Oh,
trying
okay.
to. Yeah, we punched up a weight division, trying to get our private line of Asian vegetables in there. We
Okay.
have we pack our own baby bok choy, yu choy, gailon, these great Asian greens, along with like Thai eggplants, Chinese eggplants, Indian eggplants.
Nice.
Um, and they have a great Asian community up there. Lots of Asian brothers and sisters up in Alaska.
Really?
So we caught the right store manager on the right Sunday at Costco and hung out with them for a couple hours and talked to them about what we can maybe do. So,
Oh, that's super cool.
That might be an in for us up there. And it's fascinating to see like Asian greens aren't coming just from Asia anymore. California, Mexico, they grow whatever's popular. They grow whatever.
Baby bok choy is awesome.
Yeah, right. That's a fun one.
Yeah, the Thai eggplants are good too. Little bombs. Yeah, those are great.
I imagine all these farms in Mexico growing all these Asian things they never seen in their lives.
Yeah. No, I love the thought of that.
Yeah, but they are, and they're cranking out and harvesting, packing pallets of these things.
The best thing about that is going to be the recipes that come out in 10 years. They're like, yeah, we just had this shit, and now now there's Mexican fucking Thai eggplant recipes, and it's going to be great.
Yu choy tacos, exactly.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Awesome.
It certainly got me eating more different stuff. That's for sure.
Okay, you're not a vegetarian anymore.
No, I'm in recovery. I'm in recovery, John.
But you're kind of mostly vegetarian, I would assume, with all the access to the vegetables you have, right? Like
I eat a lot of vegetables, but I am no stranger to a double bacon cheeseburger or a sausage brat.
But you're not like when you guys are eating during the week at home.
Yeah.
You're not mainly vegetarian?
Not mainly vegetarian. Mostly, I would say.
Okay, I got you.
Eliza, the boss at home, the love of my life, the light of my world. She's mostly vegetarian.
Yeah.
Which, as Samuel L. Jackson says, which basically makes me a vegetarian.
Yep, exactly. It basically makes me a vegetarian. Yeah.
Oh, Big Kahuna Burger.
Yeah. You know what they call fucking French fries?
Yeah. Exactly.
I just showed Crosby that movie a couple weeks ago. He was like, "That was a movie." I was like, "Yeah,
that was a movie."
Actually, no. It wasn't Pulp Fiction. I showed him Reservoir Dogs. Sorry.
No, another great one.
Even worse.
Yeah.
He was just like, "I don't know what's going on right now."
That's amazing. Great filmmaker. Great filmmaker, Tarantino.
So okay. Because where I'm going with this is when we hung out, and we went to the Portland coast and spent a couple nights together, and you brought 8 zillion pounds of vegetables, that could have gotten us through the week. To be fair, but we were only there for 2 days,
right?
Like, is that just how you got it? Like, you just got them veggies all over the place, or?
That's just a casual turn through my warehouse.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Oh, I love this. I get on a riding jack with a big box. This might work. And I got 3 or 4 ideas of meals in my head. Don't know which one. I know you're gonna lead the charge. You got the skills to pay the bills in that department. I'm thinking, actually with you specifically, I was thinking, what kind of stuff would the third want on this kind of stuff? You know what I mean? Yeah. What would he do with this? What would John Hauser the third want with this? And because I remember you being impressed before when I brought home a box of stuff. Oh man, there's so much stuff we did
here. All right though. I made that salmon seafood soup. That shit was great.
That chowder was amazing, and I have raved about it to so many friends about how you made like a roux or a broth before. Like you took all the vegetables.
I took all
the corn cobs.
You
took all the extra stuff, and you made, it's not a roux, right? But a stock.
A vegetable stock
before you even started, and then you added maybe the better than bouillon stock to that. But instead of using like the water. Like most of us would add a water. You added just a stock you had made. I could not believe how much better it made the chowder. It was remarkably better.
It was because of you. You had all this beautiful, all these great vegetables and, such an opportunity, so much abundance that I was like, I can't just let it go. So, again, when I stripped the corn off, you got all these cobs. They turn into corn water when you fucking boil them. It's great. And then the tops of onions and then, this and that. And all of a sudden you got like a good stock and you're good,
Huge educational point for me. Analyze it too.
Yeah. I mean, don't waste it. And if you got a little bit of extra that you can, feed to the stock gods, then go for it. Make yourself a cauldron of it. And
that's a cauldron. And that's why I asked you too, like, what do you do with this? Do you freeze it? Do you have some of this in your freezer? You're like, absolutely. Yeah.
No, that stuff freezes great. Like if you just take a couple quart Chinese food containers, or takeout containers and just fill them, label them, get that. I always have like a roll of blue painter's tape in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Put that on the outside, label it, date it, put it in, you're good to go.
I used to party with his sister and she would put it in ice cube trays.
Oh yeah.
And she'd be able to pop out just a couple. I learned the hard way what she was doing when I went to make a cocktail one night.
Nice.
Out of a freezer and made it with some stock. It was not quite what I meant to do.
I do that. I do that when I make a big bunch of stock and I cook it down and then make it really concentrated.
Yeah.
Then I'll do the ice cube trick because that's a different beast than just having,
okay.
Because it is so concentrated, you might just need an ice cube or two. Right. And then you add the water to bring it back up to the salinity that you're, kind of looking for.
Okay. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you about that? Do you ever season that stock with salt or anything?
I normally don't until I'm
because then you can fuck up. You can fuck up what you're doing.
But with certain stocks, especially if we're talking like meat stocks, there's a gelatinous quotient that the more you cook it down, the more concentrated the gelatin gets. So you might get it to the point where like when it cools down, it's basically like a rubber ball. And I'm not kidding.
Right.
Like it's got that consistency. Because it's so concentrated down, but there's just enough water to hold it together. Yeah. And you want to thin that out because it's inedible. But that's great.
Right.
So
yeah. Fantastic.
That kind of shit's awesome.
I'm gonna graduate to that level.
But I love that I have pictures of you just casually drinking soup out of a cup.
Oh,
because you were like, this is the fucking best thing I've had. And you're just drinking your breakfast the right way.
Look, John, I've been kicked out of the finest country clubs around. Okay, so I'm kind of the country club bad boy. I like Phil Collins hits and Tom Collins mix.
Nice,
but I'm not afraid to drink a 40 out of a bag, my man.
Okay, let me see here. I got a couple questions in my head. I'm just gonna power through a couple.
Please.
What's your favorite vegetable?
Wow, that's a great one. I mean, let me try to get a little favorite vegetable. I mean, I gotta say, like, nice one. The classic carrots. Carrots. I should be classier than that.
There's nothing wrong with loving a carrot.
Yeah, I mean, good sweet carrots, and as you probably already know, carrots get really good after the first freeze. After they freeze on top of the ground. A farmer taught me this in Southern Oregon. Because when a carrot gets the first bit of frost or freezing, whatever enzymes it puts in to protect itself from the freeze gives it the sweetness, makes them sweeter. Yeah, it was very interesting. So I love a good organic sweet carrot. There were some things I can taste the difference in organically. Carrots are one of them.
Crosby's been on a thing with carrots in his like if Leanna just takes a carrot and chops it up into sticks and puts it in his lunch, he fucking loves it.
Yeah, great.
It's so weird. I mean, it's not weird. It's great, but like that's what he asked for, and I'm like, all right, dude.
That is good.
Sure.
carrots, a good bell pepper. I've learned to love heirloom tomatoes. I think we had those when we hung out.
Oh yeah, we made a tomato salad that was special. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great.
Oh, that tomato salad was over the top.
Yeah, it was so
Balsamic
good.
reduction,
Yeah.
some some nice mozzarella or some whatever the other cheese is, the
We had,
soft white one.
I mean, I
So
just made
good.
sort of the mothership tomato salad, and then we just had all the accoutrement with it. But like,
It was amazing.
just, I mean, good
Right.
heirloom tomatoes are a fucking
All right.
like that's the thing that turns people's heads. You know what I mean? Like most
Yeah.
people, it's
Right.
I always think it's funny that people are like, I hate tomatoes, but they love pasta sauce or ketchup.
Yeah,
or,
right.
You know,
Yeah, right.
It's like, well, you probably haven't had a good tomato.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know, I get it if it's a texture thing or you don't like the goopiness inside. Like,
Yeah.
but you know,
I used to hate tomatoes. I would never eat them straight.
I
Now
wouldn't either.
freaking love them. Now I freaking love them.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
we at least once a week just have like a simple tomato salad that's just chopped up
Yeah.
tomato, salt, a little bit of olive oil, and a splash of sherry vinegar. Done.
That's right. The sherry vinegar is your specialty.
Yeah,
I remember
man.
that one.
It's like a little sneaky trick.
I love it.
It's so
It is a
good.
sneaky trick. I
It's
love
that
it.
it's that Spanish fucking influence. It's so good.
What are your favorite vegetables? I'm guessing tomatoes one of them. Although
Tomatoes,
let's call
tomatoes
it.
one of them. Onion,
It straddles the line of fruit and vegetables. Really is technically a
it's
fruit.
technically a fruit.
But anyway, please.
Onion's probably my favorite.
Oh, cool. Great.
It's so versatile and it's underutilized as a main.
Yeah,
I think
right.
more people need to be stuffing onions or
Stuffing onions. I
just
love it.
baking. Like, have you ever just like baked onions to where they're just, you can just cut them with a fork, like the whole onion.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where they're kind of
I know what you're
caramelized on
talking
the
about.
bottom, and
Yeah.
it's such a like, it's one of those things. Like, okay, if you just take an onion, cut the root end off on both sides, cut it in half, and then salt, pepper, some herbs, and then just bake the fucking things. Just hit them with some olive oil and let them go. And then just let them, I mean, it's going to take a while. But like, let's say 375 for an hour. And then check on them, right? If they're not soft enough, let them go another 30. But then afterwards, you have this it's completely the most savory, delicious, like, accompaniment to like a steak or chicken or by itself. It's fucking great. Like,
I love it.
I've been doing a lot of like, you know, grilling this summer where I'm like, all right, let me just simplify. And one thing has been just roasting tomatoes, where it's literally just core the top out and then just fill it with olive oil, salt, pepper, herbs, and then just bake the shit out of them until they barely
the whole tomato.
Whole tomato.
Out.
You know, about the size of a baseball, not the biggies, but about the size of a baseball, and then cook them until you can touch them and they're about to explode. You know what I'm saying? Like,
amazing.
And
amazing.
It's its own thing. Like, it has its own sauce. It has its own like richness, its own sweetness. They're so fucking good. And just the simplicity of just a thing with some salt and pepper and oil and roasted to a point where it's giving you up the goods. It's not hard to eat. Like, I think Leanna loves an al dente vegetable, and I do for certain things, you know, like asparagus. But like for green beans, I'm to the point now where I'm like, I would just rather them be cooked.
Cook, you know that what I mean? Fucker, right? Yeah.
Like, I don't need to taste the super greeniness of it. Like, I want to taste roasted fucking green beans, you know?
Yeah.
And that can go a little too far. Sometimes I overcook Brussels sprouts. It happens.
Sure, it happens. And you can cook. Sometimes you're cooking the nutrients out of it too.
Right. No,
or the flavor out of it.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. I like some of my vegetables cooked down for sure. On the onion, you know, we have our Walla Walla sweet onion out here.
Those are great.
I don't know if that gets out to the East Coast at all.
Yeah, of course.
Does it? I still think it's down the list from the Vidalia. George's Vidalia.
In terms
The
of what?
Oh, and just a classic sweet onion, like a Vidal. My problem with the Walla Walla onion, I think it's been crossbred or like too many things have come over the fence or over the field. It's not as sweet as maybe it once was. But that Vidalia, they protected that seed.
Yeah.
And you can put some lime on it and eat it like an apple. Like I look forward to that thing coming in every year.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've never done that. That's interesting.
An old timer in produce showed me that when I was younger. And I would not have believed it if you didn't make me do it. But those Vidalias, you can do that. And every once in a while you catch a Walla Walla sweet from the right farm that you can do that with. But we're in awe of the Vidalia out
If
here.
I'm remembering correctly, the difference between the Walla Walla and the Vidalia is the sulfur content of the Walla Walla is a little bit more.
Oh,
so that's why it's got a little bit more heat.
Interesting.
Yeah. Whereas they've kind of just bred the Walla Wallas to just be that one note sweet,
Oh, interesting.
I mean the
Vidalia.
The Vidalias, yeah.
Yeah. Great. Awesome. And don't get me wrong, I like a little heat. We do pack our own ghost pepper here at Caruso Produce.
Nice.
In our Asian line.
Those hot sauces that you brought up that were in the bottles. Did you get those from work?
I did. Yeah. Those Salaji sauces from the Salaji family. I'm so glad you liked them. I'm going to send you some more.
Dude, I got the Calabrian chili one that you got us.
Oh, that's a special one.
It's so fucking good.
It's so good
on everything.
It's their only Italian pepper.
And then the habanero one is amazing. Yeah. We had tacos the other night. I put that on the tacos. It was so good.
Super small family, the Salaji family. The dad does it with his two sons. Started in their garage, and then they went to a little kitchen they shared.
Those sauces are bananas good.
They're so good. I sell them the produce that goes in there. Then I buy back their sauces, and I put it in as many stores as I can.
Oh, wow.
But really, that guy deserves to go big, bigger than I can make him.
Those are some of the best, bottled salsas I've had in a long time.
And he's got them in the Safeways here. He's got them in the Kroger's.
Really?
But those things deserve to be national.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, I'm reticent to buy a lot of jarred salsas anyway because they try to make them for white American people.
Yeah.
And not with these. These were they're so flavorful. So good.
Now you call them salsa like a lot of my Mexican brothers and sisters do.
Yeah.
But I see a difference between salsa and hot sauce.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. It's a I guess technically it could be considered a hot sauce, but it's a sauce. Right. It's a sauce. It's like a salsa.
It's a sauce.
But it's not a dipping sauce. It's not what people think of when they think of salsa, that you dip. Yeah. Technically that's pico de gallo. But a salsa is a sauce. That's what salsa means.
Dave Salaji would love to hear you calling it a sauce because he calls it sauce.
Yeah, it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
And dude, tell that next time you see that guy, tell him I said thank you because it makes my fucking day to try it.
Yeah, I will.
It's really good.
Absolutely. They'll love it. Yeah, those guys got something really special. I'm honored to that's why we pack a ghost peppers because they had to start finding ghost peppers for him for his ghost pepper sauce.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I bet that's amazing. Yeah, so we got those bottles home. We're like, let's crack these things open. And the first one was the Calabrian. I think I was making something Italian. I was like, oh, hell yeah, Calabrian chili sauce. And then I tried it by itself and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, this is on. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's really good.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It is
they make good
shit.
Stuff.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. He'll be stoked to hear that.
All right. I got one more question. We're coming up on an hour almost.
Sounds good, brother.
This is the most important question you're going to answer
my God.
This whole week.
I'm tucking in my shirt and I'm locking in the comb over. Let's do this.
Tomorrow you're going to die. I'm sorry, but that's how it's going to happen. Yeah. It sucks. I'm going to miss you, but it's going to happen.
In a magical way. Right.
It can happen however you want, but you get a choice. You can eat as much or as little. You have one last meal. It doesn't matter how big it is. It doesn't matter how specific. It doesn't matter how small. You can have dessert. You can have drinks. You can have neither or just a snack. What Kevin Canty-Jones are you eating as your last meal?
John Hauser the third. I get a lot of questions. I get peppered by the media with all kinds of questions. This is my favorite. These are my favorite to answer, and it's a no-brainer.
Really? Oh, good.
It's a no-brainer. A nice glass of red wine, maybe something peppery, a Malbec,
Okay.
a Zinfandel, and the seafood chowder that you made
Oh,
in
stop it.
August. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'll put that up against anyone's paella or anything. I'm not joking. That's a
Thank you.
meal made by a family member like you, like my brother in arms, my brother in culinary arms,
It
in
wasn't
front
really
of
good
me.
soup.
Yeah, thank you.
It
Don't
wasn't really
tell
good
me to
soup.
stop it. Right?
was
No,
really- but-
that's what I want. I don't want to go to Paris and have something made by someone I don't know. I want, someone like you to make this. That was incredible. You're asking me why I'm drinking a cup of it, or I don't know, drinking it by the ladle for breakfast.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Seriously, that was.
No,
That's
I
how I
appreciate
feel.
it. That's kind of
Yeah.
your thing. Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, you're
Anything?
disappointed. You're disappointed.
Well, I didn't want it to be about me. I wanted it to be about what you wanted to have. And if that's what you want to have, that's fine.
You can put in a peach milkshake with, Yakima Washington peaches.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting thing.
With whole milk, and I don't mean like some pasteurized stuff. I mean that milk that tastes like cream off the farm. You can you put in a
peach milkshake.
Oh, dude!
I don't think I've ever had
milkshake's
one.
Oh, sugar! Yeah,
is that like a thing out there?
It is like out in peach country where there's not a lot of people, and there's just like a small diner, and they got peaches coming out their ears. They will make a peach milkshake that you won't find it at, like, in the city somewhere.
They're just listening to the President of the United States of America all the time.
That's
song.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. No, even that they're from Longview, which is a small town.
I was about to say they're from up there. Yeah.
But that's even too big a town for where I've had peach milkshakes, I want it made by someone who's 80 years old, and
I'm gonna have to try to make one of those. That sounds really good.
Yeah. All right. I'll say this before. I don't know if you got any peaches left out there. We're just coming out of peach and nectarine season here.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, I think we sent out the last ones this week, but people give up on peaches and nectarines and plums, the tree fruit, a little too early, in my opinion. Come Labor Day weekend, the stores are changing over to apples and pears.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to encourage people in the future, next year, don't forget about late season peaches and nectarines.
That last gasp of peach.
September, right? Some of the best stuff comes off the tree then.
They're really good at that point for grilling.
Oh, yeah. I would buy that. Right. Yeah.
I like a thing that I do that Leanna's not a huge fan of, but if you cut it in half, pit it, oil it up a little bit, and then grill the shit out of the tops of them really quick.
Okay.
And then flip them over, and then in the divot, put a little bit of blue cheese.
Oh, fuck.
And then just let them go. Let them go on the grill.
Oh, dude.
Let them go on the grill until the blue cheese is a little molten. That's a good steak side right there.
My man. Incredible. Yeah. What an incredible time we've had.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting me in.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So is there anything you want to plug? Any upcoming shows or Caruso Produce or?
No, thank you. Where you find us if you're in the Northwest or even in Alaska now, you need some great produce and you need a customer service that is a cut above and unparalleled. I will right now write you a coupon for unparalleled customer service, my man. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it. And then we need some love songs. JennySizzler.com. Love songs. If you get in trouble at home, you're in the doghouse with the partner, come over to JennySizzler.com. We'll give you some music to play, get you out of the doghouse.
Jenny Sizzler is his band, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Jenny Sizzler. JennySizzler.com.
So,
But no, nothing to plug. Okay. I mean, this is the podcast. Thank you for having me on.
You plugged Jenny Sizzler, so that's good.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. I said I'll take off my shirt and walk around for the rest of the day feeling good.
Well,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on, Kevin. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And thank you, dear listener, for listening to the Rude Cooking School podcast. I really appreciate it. And word of mouth is how we get around. So if you can tell your friends, your family, your pet, your farmer about the show, it means a lot because I don't pay for ads, and word of mouth is how we get around. If you want to join our Facebook group, it's actually the only place on Facebook that is worth going to. It's a scientific fact. It just is. It's a positive place. Everyone's encouraging and funny. And, if people have cooking questions, they go there and ask. And people that actually know what they're talking about answer it, and not as a dickish thing. So join the Facebook group. And until then, I will see you next week. My name is John Hauser III. Don't yuck my yum. What's your name?
Kevin Canty-Jones, the first.
The first. There you go. All right. See you guys next week. See you, everybody.
Later.